Hello Psychonauts! Today I'm going to talk about my most recent DMT experience, which took place about a week and a half ago from when I'm making this video. I did a live trip experience and that was the last video I posted, so if you're interested in seeing what this experience looked like from the outside, you can check that video out. But I actually took two trips back to back, and the second one was significantly more intense, and of the two trips, it's the one that left a lasting impression. So in this video, I'm mainly going to be talking about the second trip. So I'm going to start by mentioning what the main theme of the trip was, and that is aliens. And not just your typical DMT entities. My impression from this trip was that they were actual extraterrestrials from somewhere else in the universe. So let's go back to the start of this trip. One of the first things that I realize is that I'm losing my sense of body location. And I should also mention that the presence of these entities or aliens is immediately felt. I feel it like as soon as I go into the experience, and they start communicating instantaneously. So there's already this telepathic communication going on between me and these entities. But I remember my sense of body location, something was happening with that. The first thing I can really recall is bringing my hands to my chest and the entities going, "Yeah, you're there." And then they sort of implied, "But you can come out here." They were sort of showing me that the sense of my body location was just that. Like, it was just a sense, but I wasn't really there, that I could go beyond it. So that was the first distinct thing that I recall from the trip. So the main theme, like I said, was aliens, extraterrestrials. The impression that I got was that these aliens were manipulating the field of consciousness in a way that they were able to exist like in this higher dimension that can be accessed through DMT or through other methods, but I was accessing it through DMT. I don't know how they access it. I think they have a deep understanding of reality and a deep understanding of consciousness, and they know how to manipulate the field of consciousness. And yeah, so basically they're telepathically communicating with me, and I don't really see them right away. As I go deeper into the experience, I do start to see some kind of forms of entities, but I wouldn't really say that they're entirely distinct, but their presence is very much felt. And like I said, there's this communication going on. There's this dialogue going on with these aliens. And they were communicating with me telepathically because I had let go of my ordinary mode of perception. And that ordinary mode of perception is just been engineered by evolution for our survival. Back to the sense of body location, that's just been engineered by evolution for survival. It's good for survival to know where your body is in space. But that's not necessarily an accurate portrayal of what's really going on in reality. So once you let go of your ordinary modes of perception, you're able to enter into this consciousness space, and that's where these aliens were existing in some way. So then here's what happens. They start showing me something, and they're showing me how they're creating reality. And every time I say that, I'm just like, it's like I'm in disbelief. Like if I didn't have the direct experience myself, I don't know what to make of that. I don't know why this is a common theme, but this is what happened. This is the phenomenological content of the experience. These aliens were showing me that they were creating reality, or that they were creating the universe. I don't know how that happens, and I don't have any solid information. Like, the part of me that wants to try to rationalize it, I'm like, well, I must have some sort of content to bring back. Like, I might have some sort of insight. Like, how do they create reality? Like, that's a good question. How do they do it? You say, I am claiming that they showed me how they created reality, or how they're creating reality. So how do they do it? I don't know. I don't know. I guess the information is lost to me. This is a pretty common theme with DMT experiences though, so I definitely think that there's something to it. But yeah, really what I'm left with is my impression of these entities. It was so distinct. It was unmistakable that I was in contact with aliens. Like, I had no doubt in my mind, even after I was coming down from the experience, it was so real. I didn't doubt it for a while. It took a while for my rational mind to come back and start introducing a layer of skepticism between me and the experience. I do still think that it is a plausible theory of what was going on. Like I said, these aliens were highly advanced, highly evolved. They had sort of engineered themselves to exist the way that they do in this dimension of consciousness. I even thought they probably were from somewhere else in space, maybe from somewhere else in time, I don't know. I have the idea that consciousness is a fabric underlying all of space-time. There's no need to travel across long distances of space or potentially even time when you can just travel through higher dimensions of consciousness. So the aliens that exist in our universe, in our reality, that have a deep understanding of how reality works, and consciousness is a big key in understanding how reality works, and we're not exactly there yet in our understanding. But I think we're getting closer to discovering that consciousness is something more fundamental to reality. But yeah, they know how to manipulate this field of consciousness, and that's also how they're communicating telepathically. I also do believe in telepathy, and I think we could all be telepathic. Consciousness is all connected. It's all one consciousness in some sense. It's all one mind. These are all just like very common themes to all psychedelic experiences. But yeah, it made sense to me that these highly intelligent, highly evolved aliens could be communicating with me telepathically through this dimension of consciousness. And that was what was going on in the experience. The strangest part to me is that they were showing me how they were creating reality. Like, I don't really know what to make of that. There's always this sense that they're showing me something, and it's always along the lines of they're showing me they're creating reality. And sometimes it makes me think maybe this really is some sort of simulation or lower dimensional matrix of some sort, that there is some higher reality beyond it that we would maybe wake up into. It was really weird with the sense of body location thing, because it was like I could feel where my body was existing, but at the same time it was like, you're not there, you're not actually there. It's a weird feeling. I couldn't describe it to you unless you've been there. It was like I could feel where my body was, but I could also at the same time realize that I wasn't there, and I was able to go beyond it in some way. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I should mention that I do plan on exploring this phenomenon even more, and I want to find out more about the nature of these entities, or I just want to find out more about like what's going on. So that's something to look forward to in the future if you're interested in this, consciousness exploration quest that I have going on. But yeah, that was my DMT experience with aliens. Let me know what you think about my theory about these DMT beings that I was in contact with being actual extraterrestrials from somewhere else in outer space. What are your theories on the DMT entities, and what experiences have you had? Because I really want to research and explore this phenomenon of entity encounters even more. It doesn't have to be limited to DMT, even though DMT seems to be the substance to go to if you're actually looking to have entity experiences. But yeah, I'm really curious to hear your experiences. I'm going to be doing some more exploration myself to really get to the bottom of this, because I have multiple theories. I don't necessarily completely believe my experience at face value. I'm inclined to believe it. I think it could be a plausible explanation, but I also am entertaining other ideas of what's going on. But I do know something is going on. So that is all for this video. You will see me in the next video.